Ooh, girl, I can make you feel so right. Let me tell you how much I love ya. Let me tell you, boy, baby, I make it alright.
Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Tdog, and we back with another video. As y'all see by the title and the thumbnail, we brought another Tik Tok back yet again because I seen that y'all seem to like these from the last one I did. So, hey man. So today's topic will be back in the day. So here I have my fellow, I don't know if they berries no more, fellow raisins here in the building. Nah, let me stop. I have my fellow black queens with me. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am the queen, Denise G.
Hello everybody, my name is Kim, repping the 80s all day.
And night.
Okay. Are you ready for our first question?
Let's get it.
Let's do it.
So the first question for this Tik Tok will be, how were men different now than they were back in the day?
They ain't. They the same.
They are still the same. They still must be trained.
Train them up.
I say no difference.
You see no difference?
Mm-mm.
I'm speaking physical, mannerisms, everything. Yeah, I feel like it's still the same.
Men, are we talking, give me an age. I need an age. Because I've been with the same man I was with back in the day, so it's hard. So I need to know. I'm trying to see.
It's not adding up. Anyways.
It ain't.
Back in the day.
What day you talking about? We need dates.
When you was my age.
I was with the man that I'm with today at your age.
I have a sister with this different. Anyways. Okay.
I didn't say that was the only man I ever had, but
we should be talking about women. Hold on. Anyways, okay. On to the next question then. You feel like they are similar in some aspects, or most aspects. What happened back in the day that wouldn't fly now? As in like things that you don't agree with that happens now that wouldn't happen back in the day.
Go ahead and take this one, and then I'm gonna piggyback off of you.
Things that I don't agree with. I don't tolerate disrespect, nonsense. Same thing as back in the day. I've been the same. I've evolved as, I would say, in ways like education, physically. But your mindset is still somewhat based on the person that you are or were from the beginning. You just grow. You elaborate.
I'm ready.
Let's get it.
That 50-50 stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay, tell me.
Okay, so when a guy asks me on a date, I ain't finna pay half of the bill. How about you?
It depends. I might pay the whole bill.
No, wait. You listen. I never said I wouldn't pay the bill. I ain't finna pay half of the bill. But if you ask me on the date, you paying the bill.
It depends. I'm fairly independent. I don't ask anybody for anything. If I agree to go somewhere or do something, I can provide for myself. Now, it's nice if you want to pay, but I've always got my own, just in case.
I'm with you on that. I have my own too, but if you ask me, you gonna pay. You gonna pay.
What about you, T?
I mean, for me being in this generation, I feel like if I asked a girl, then asked her as in the respect of I'm going to pay because I have the funds to do so. Because if I ask you out, that means I'm ready to take you out. Versus if we going on a second or third date and it's kind of like you just want to meet me here, or you want to like, even with me being the man, if a girl asked me out, I would still pay my hand and let her pay hers.
So that's 50-50 then?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see nothing wrong with the 50-50 because like at the end of the day, if we don't have no attachments to each other, have no bond, and there's no strings attached, and there's no need for me to pay. Like I don't feel like I owe nothing to you. I'm a human, you're a human. I can pay just like you can pay. If you don't got the money, what is you doing here? I mean, I can pay if you don't have the money, but it's just the fact of like.
I think that's something that needs to be established before the date.
Yeah.
Don't wait until the last minute. Don't show up.
That's very true.
Yeah, without money.
And another thing to say, to rewind on what you said earlier about the disrespect, what do you feel like is more disrespect nowadays or back in the day? Like when you say is there more disrespect?
I would have to say nowadays because people just assume that you'll tolerate whatever they put out. To me, that's disrespectful. If you don't ask my permission to do something that affects me or involves me in any way, it's disrespectful.
Oh, so they gotta ask your permission.
If it involves me, yes.
Yeah, it's true. It's because like you can't use somebody else's name without them knowing about it. It's kind of like with copyright or with anything like that. It's like you can't use somebody else's voice or somebody else's profits just for your benefit if they didn't give you permission to.
With your permission.
So what do you feel about that?
Oh, respect.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Let me find out what it means to me.
Okay, talk to me.
Respect for me is, this is how I am with respect. I've never really dealt with disrespect from a male. I guess because that's just the energy I put out there. I go in with that energy knowing that I kind of demand respect without demanding respect. So I really never dealt with the disrespect type issues. I've never really dealt with it. I guess that's what I put out there. I put out that positive energy where we gonna respect one another. Because one thing about respect, you gotta give respect in order to get it.
Great.
So I always respect another person because I expect for them to, respect me. So I really never dealt with it. So that's just my take on disrespect.
Okay. So these following questions will be on your personal perspective of it. So what do you feel like that you need in a partner? Like, what do you feel like you need with the person that you be with? Do you feel like they should be equal to you, like level-wise, as in alpha, or do you feel like they should be more, I'm trying to think of the word, like have more power than you, or should you have more power than them in a relationship?
You mean dominant-wise?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it depends in what aspect we're talking about. I'm definitely seeking someone that's emotionally equal, financially at least stable, equal, or above. It just depends, on the aspect. I definitely don't do dominant and submissive. I am a female, I understand that, but you're not going to dominate me just because you're male. I disagree with that completely.
Now, I like being submissive. Now, submissive to me means that, well, let me say this. What I mean by I like being submissive is, in order for me to submit and be submissive, you got to show me you can lead me first.
Agreed.
Now, if I feel that you can't lead me, I have this saying that I love wearing skirts, but if I have to put on the pants, I'll put them on too.
Or some BADs.
Some BADs. You'll catch that one
Big
day.
ass drawers.
I will put them on. So my point is, submissive, I like being submissive, but in order to be that, you gotta know how to lead. You gotta know how to lead me, and I'm not gonna follow a person who can't lead me. So it's up to the male whether they get the dominant Denise or the submissive Denise. If you lead me in the right direction, I'm gonna get right behind you. But when you get off, I'm gonna say, hey, come back. And if you don't know how to lead, I will take the lead. So
I'm in agreement with that.
okay.
Okay. So another question that goes off your perspective. What do you feel like with the knowledge you know now, based on how your life went, what would you go back and change? Relationship wise.
Well, I'll take this one first, girl.
That's it.
Because I'm on number 3 marriage, right? So I feel like I got it right this time. And I don't think that just because I've been married 3 times, I wouldn't change that because it made me the woman that I am today. I'm not the kind of person who will, I jump in and test the waters a little bit instead of saying, what if? So that's how come I don't live in regret. I don't know woulda, shoulda, couldas and all of that. But did I supposed to get married at 19? Heck no. But you couldn't have told me that at 19. But today I'm looking like, girl, what was you doing? So my point is so the question was, what did knowing what I know now, what would I have told my younger self basically? I would have said, girl, sit down somewhere. That's what I would have said. But I don't regret the choices I made for as the relationships I was, that I was in.
I would not change anything. I'm not married. I mean, if somebody comes along that's for me, I'm not against marriage, but I would do everything exactly the same. You learn, you live and you learn.
Very fast.
I know this T-Talk, but can we ask T about his perspective on this?
Go ahead and ask him. What
The
needs
same
to be asked?
question.
I mean,
I know.
I got nothing to go back and change.
Yes, you do. You got some.
took me. I can't.
Yeah, you got early relationships you could talk
I mean, I
about.
love relationships, but like,
What would you change today that will help you in the future? That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, me, I feel like everything happens for a reason, and I feel like the path that I went down with every relationship I went through, I learned something from it. So it's like at the end of the day, I feel like it just made me to who I was.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, I was either too nice and too loving at one point to where it's like, because that does play a lot of role in the man. And, women try to say it's not, and they can be emotional, but to a certain extent you can't as a man, because women see that as weak. So it's like, I feel like I was too emotional and too much of a nice person at one point to where girls would be like, oh, he's like a brother to me. Oh, he's like a blah, blah. Then I got to the point where I was too ruthless I was like, I don't care about your feelings. Like, either you can talk to me, but she talking to me too, and we all can talk at the same time. So it's like, I got to the point where I was kind of ruthless and reckless with it too. So it's like, now I'm finding that balance with all the relationships I've been through. So I'm still finding what I can tolerate, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like I wouldn't change nothing. I have no regrets about anything.
That's good. You was raised right, boy.
Yeah, I wonder about who? Myself. Self-raised. Okay, and for the final question, is that me? And for the final question, dang, I lost it. Do you think it's more cheating than it was back then, more toxic than it was back then, or what do you feel like was the difference between actual relationships back then versus now? Besides the 50-50, more like on was it real love and were they really trying to get to know someone versus now everybody having that talking stage and she's cheating on everybody and the toxicity going around?
I think there was always cheating, toxicity. I think now it's more played out, more viewed because of social media. You can't really hide anything now. Everything's recorded. So that's why there are so many people being exposed. But I don't think there's a lot of differences.
No, because it was still, let me tell you what social media was back then. You get in that car, you call your girlfriend and say, hey, let me bring your car over here, let me switch with you. You go do that, and you pull up on them, and when they pull up, that's social media. That was our social media right there. And I called my girlfriend, said, they ain't looking for, I had a white car, she had a black car. They looking for a white car. You see a little white car come, be careful. I'm sitting right there like, what's up? What y'all doing? I thought you was going to the game. What you doing? So the difference between now and then is like Kim said, it's more social media. It's like it's a lot you can't do. Back in the day, it was still the same. It was just it took a little more effort to catch them, and still that same. See, and another thing I feel like, and I don't want to throw jabs, but the younger generation, I don't think they have that keen instinct like we did back in the day. You can walk in the door like, where you been? Where you been? See, y'all don't have that. Y'all don't have that instinct. Y'all don't have that instinct. I'm just saying. But so that's just my take on it.
I don't think it's the younger generation and an instinct. I think it's the way that you were raised, common sense, because it's not really common. People just pretty much believe what you tell them most of the time. But I think it's just person to person. I don't think it's a whole generation. I don't blame anything on a generation. It's individually based. But I don't think much has changed. Just more exposure because of social media.
That is very true. And I'm glad y'all said that, because people are trying to look at it as, the 80s love was all the love and basketball, the this and that. They're looking at movies. Like, even though we have movies nowadays, they're looking at, there was no social media, so everything relates to the movie. So they would just be like, the love was so real back then. And I told them, like I said, I thought it was the same. It just was, like I said, it was harder to catch somebody than it is now, because you have air tag and all the locations and all the social media to post where you be at, and all they gonna do is pull up. And so it's like, it's way easier for someone to just pull up on you versus you not knowing where they be at until they get home or where. So it's like, people think it's so different, and I don't feel like it's different. I just feel like it's more of an effort now, I mean, back then than it was now. But the main thing I was talking about was the women influence outbreak that they're talking about with the Sexy Red and all the Megan Thee Stallion songs they got going on.
I'm slow.
What do y'all
bring me up to speed
y'all
on
into
that.
that? Like, heard about all that?
What do you mean when you say like influence?
Like they saying that the girls, they saying that like the girls are taking that because how Sexy Red said lost my virginity and turned to a hoe. Now all girls preaching that, saying that, and now they going singing it to the top of their lungs. Like even though I take it as just lyrics, even though me personally I don't like even saying that because like, but some people do take it to a certain extent where they be like. They take music to heart. Like some guys act hard because they listen to certain music. Some girls act, so it depends on the music you listen to. So if you're preaching that and saying that, I just feel like that's where another kind of outbreak goes with the women on the women's side.
I mean, I just take it as lyrics, but she probably is a hoe. I mean, if she doesn't take offense to it, I don't take offense to it.
True.
I don't know if that's a generational thing. I just think people like what they like. You know,
I feel like it's a trend because like how everybody started liking the dreadheads with tattoos now because that's all they say is shake your dread, shake it.
Not everybody.
I'm talking about like nowadays, like the younger generation, they all want them dreadheads with tattoos, and it's like me personally, I don't got dreads. I got tattoos that's not visible. I don't got dreads, so it's like. You gonna like me for me. I don't show all that for you. I don't try to fall into that so you can like me because I look like everybody else.
Right.
I try to be different.
Right.
So
I wouldn't necessarily say that I try to be different. I just try to be myself. You hate it or love it. You gonna get me regardless.
That's true. Well, I just wanna say thank you to both of y'all for being knowledgeable, intelligent women, and that will be the end of the video. And thank y'all for coming out. So. You got anything else to say? Alright, y'all. So make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you would have done different or what you had to say about the topics that we talk about.
Me and you as never part, my key.
Alright, y'all. We're gonna see you guys in the next video.